I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies.
Welcome to Cookies, the world's most influential basketball podcast. It is Monday, November 3rd, New York City, Election Day tomorrow, marathon yesterday, Halloween over the weekend. How are you doing in the greatest city on earth, Andrew Quill?
Oh man, I'm enjoying the last days before our wonderful place falls into the abyss of communism and those bread lines at Radio Bakery near Commie Corner. I heard the cinnamon buns are delicious.
Yeah, on one hand, I am not looking forward to the bread lines for pastries on weekends, but I do like Sharia law, so there's that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Like, it is, man, we got one of my favorite writers in all of the internet, Alphonse Pierre, today. So all this stuff you speak of that was happening this week, I was just looking forward to today.
Oh, that's how I feel as well, but still, I kind of wanted to be Mr. Outside, like our guy, Zoran Mamdani. Mr. Outside. Park Slope, trick-or-treating. Then he's out at 4 or 5 clubs, gay clubs, Caribbean clubs, 100 Scott. He's out till 4 a.m. Then he's over here at the marathon in Greenpoint at the Eavesdrop speakers. I was there only an hour after him, and I did not know. I saw all these "It's Giving Mayor" in Brat Green signs everywhere. I was like, wow, this is a little Zoran community over here. People are wearing hats. Little did I know, I missed our potential mayor only by a slim margin.
Wow.
I was also wondering if like Sliwa was going to pull up, but I did not see him.
Wow, you mentioned these two fake-ass mayors, man. They're going to ruin the city. Because I was at the marathon location where the real mayor was hanging out. Spike Lee. He was on this like chair, that like a lifeguard chair, overseeing everything in Clinton Hill, where I bumped into Luch and Raymundo, some ballers, friends of the pod, and they were like, look over there. And it was Spike Lee sitting on his perch as maybe the king. No King's Day, but the king of New York City. And I was like, all right, you made the best movie I've ever seen in my life. And maybe you break bread with players who have eliminated the Knicks in the playoffs too often. But I acknowledge that with the choices on Tuesday, on Dami, Sliwa, and Andrew Cuomo, you belong in that conversation.
Shout out to Spike Lee, who has a grueling schedule similar to Zoran's run-up to the election, where if there is a sporting event that the public will notice, Spike Lee has to be there, not as a regular spectator, but as a sort of symbolic totem of New York sports. He is there to validate the marathon, the millions of people. Are they even there if Spike Lee isn't in a lifeguard chair to survey and bless them?
His thirst for he wants to be the visual representative of our wonderful city. I think, he dresses with flair, with his own signature style. There's no mistaking when you see this man walking down the street. They're like, that's absolutely Spike Lee. And there's not really a New Yorker we talk about as much as him. And his marketing, to Mondami's credit, has been successful in slightly similar ways.
I saw Stretch Armstrong, who was DJing at the Lot Radio's
He's opening a pizza shop in Bed-Stuy on the low.
That you heard it here first. And they had a little Lot Radio setup with DJs and some speakers. I think it was sponsored by On Running, one of those companies.
God damn it.
And then And then the Eavesdrop one was sponsored by Bandit Running. Yeah, it was all these competing
Blank Street
DJ
Running.
setups and street
Yeah.
party. But I enjoyed Stretch Armstrong's DJ set because he was playing a lot of disco, some Chicago music, and people were doing it. And then he went into the set that you would expect, and it was like from Iraq to Kuwait, and like, yes, that's exactly what I want to hear during the marathon. Let me hear some Capone Noriega. Perfect. Played like the New York set of rap songs, like Rakim, etc. I'm like, yes, bring it on.
He's been in my periphery in the last few years because my kid went to the same school as his kid, so he was around and playing benefits for that school. And then he is obviously a neighbor of mine, so I see him in the playground. And I also went to a benefit, an art benefit, where he played his laptop in the corner, similar jams. And every stop of the way, people were like, he's a really nice guy, that DJ. Where's he from? And I'm like, oh my God, he's one of the most legendary hip hop dudes in my life. I told certain Zoomers that I used to sit around listening to his show and record them on cassettes. And we used to collect these cassettes, sort of like deadheads, and bring them over to wherever we were hanging out on Fridays and Saturdays, play them in front of speakers and drink beers and just like memorize and laugh and rewind these audio cassettes.
I had a similar conversation with one of our buddies who is, I think, just turned 30. And it's like, oh, am I going to have to boomer-splain Stretch and Bob here real quick? So this guy, B. Smalls, the notorious B.I.G., he had his first verses on here. Well, so Andrew, with our rap credos now established,
That's right.
I think let's bring on our guest. We are now joined by friend of the pod, Alphonse Pierre, writer for Pitchfork, 75% jump shooter from three, from what I've seen observationally.
Not lately, but sometimes.
Whoa.
He showed up at the run, and I was kind of gassing him up on the sideline. I was like, this guy, 75% shooter. Then you like missed two, and I was like, well, those are like the 25%.
Alphonse, what's your NBA comp?
My NBA comp is, people used to say like Keith Bogans or something like that.
North Carolina?
Out of like disrespect, but just somebody who just stands in the corner, catch and shoot all the time, doesn't do anything else, but maybe I'll rebound, maybe I'll hustle a little bit. I don't know if I'm underselling myself or not, but sometimes I can get really hot. And when I do get hot, everything goes in, and I don't even have to like look at the basket, but a lot of times it's not like that.
Then you become Chris Duhon in those moments.
I would love to be Chris Duhon. I feel even though I feel like I hated him when I was younger, but now I've come to just like be almost nostalgic for his game. But I'll take that as a compliment.
Remember
Also,
there was that
he
picture
was-
of Chris Duhon partying, like dancing.
I was about to say
with-
he was very active.
I mean, I don't remember that at all.
He was more than just a
he
shooter.
he was definitely outside in the era before you could get in trouble for really being in the club a lot, where there would be these carousels of photos from various different clubs, and it would, like, I forget what it was called, the one that was on Houston Street around, but it would be like Fabulous is here, Chris Duhon is here. He was he was kind of a nightlife legend that only Lance Thomas has equaled in recent years.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lance Thomas.
I always wonder where the Knicks go out, or if they do go out. Like I'll see them like posted up with like the Kith guys and at Lucali or something. I'm like, they must do something else, but I just don't know where.
I just watched a YouTube of Deuce McBride out with his dudes and Kolick. And then as they were having dinner, Mikal Bridges pulls up. And it was all staged and all very weird. It's like, New York City, you can't beat it. Look at this pasta. It's like the pizza hits different at 2 a.m. I'm like, seems like a CI or FBI to me.
Yeah, where
Psyop.
were they? I feel like all they do is go to pasta places and pizza places. I feel like they must do something else.
Yeah, it's all like Italian adjacent food, right? Yeah, pull up to some wok, some lo mein, and then we're talking New York City. But it was like West Village spots that I don't care about that cost like $35 for fried zucchini blossoms.
Like Dave East just hit us up. He knows about this place called Scars. We're heading down. There's a mural. There's a Nipsey Hussle mural, and we're posting up.
Right. Let's get into some rap talk.
Well, yes. So Alphonse, in my opinion, is the most knowledgeable guy these days in talking about like contemporary rap. Not to say that you don't have historical knowledge, but your grasp on what's happening right now is extremely high. So I felt like you were the perfect person to give the obituary for rap, which has died again, which I just found out.
Yeah, died for like the 35th time. But I feel like this just happens. I mean, the entryway into this conversation was that a hip hop song wasn't in the Billboard Top 40 for the first time since like 1990 or 91. I think the song that broke it at that time was the Biz Markie song, Just a Friend. And so I think a lot of people, especially like online, you know, like Twitter conversation, that type of thing, used it as an excuse to vent their frustrations or maybe hate or maybe conservatism when it comes to rap and what they feel it doesn't represent or what's different about it now. Like, oh, all these rappers are too drugged out, too sexual, too da 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 da. But that's the kind of thing that's happened forever. I mean, what's like the earliest song or like the earliest moment in rap that you guys can remember people having a backlash to it? That's like, this is the song that's ruining rap. This is the artist or moment. Do you guys have like a specific memory of the earliest time that happened?
Aerosmith, Run DMC. There was a lot of pushback with that when that got big on MTV, and like kids picked up on it and I was one of those kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is great. This feels awesome. And I remember my mom being like, well, I read the New York Times. Like, nobody likes this. Like, you know, the people who enjoyed rap think this is bad. And I, as a parent, have never seen this. So now I'm skeptical.
Yeah.
So that was my first memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you had those schisms between like, you know, all right, MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and that wasn't real rap. It was already about authenticity, even at that stage. But also, I think you had that backlash within like the rap community itself, even with like De La Soul and you know, EPMD, like rap is out of control. There was always this sort of self-governance and declinism from like the day one. Like the forefathers of rap were like, this is getting worse by the day. It was just sort of like instilled in it. And then of course with like Common's biggest hit ever, like I Used to Love Her, which was this torch song for rap personified by a woman who became like a whore.
Yeah.
It's like, she became terrible. She's an awful person now. I still love her, but she's just bad.
Yeah, I remember reading this, like, I was reading like an early 90s like source or something, and it might have been, I forget which writer it was. I don't want to like mistake the writer, but even they were like, at that time, it was like 93 or something, and they were like, oh, rap is not what it used to be in the days of Marley Marl and everything. It's kind of dead now, but, and then, you know, 94, all of a sudden comes Ready to Die and Illmatic and all that stuff. But it just seems like this type of like gangster rap has gone too far. The girls are out of control. Like finger wagging has always been a thing, and now I feel like a lot of the rap conversation, especially of the last year, was so centered around Kendrick and Drake.
I love cookies. I love cookies.